Hello everyone, here I am. I'm going to be making Pioneer Woman's Burgundy mushrooms that I've been making for years. Here are some of the ingredients: the butter, the Worcestershire sauce, dill weed, Better Than Bouillon, and garlic. And I almost lost the Worcestershire sauce there. That would have been bad. Here's my peppermill, cracked pepper, and then yummy, delicious chicken broth. If you can use your own broths, that's even better. And I love doing that when I have a chance. And yes, it's still frozen. And then my yummy Celtic salt that I use for everything. And this big old jar of Burgundy. I could not find a smaller one. All right, let's get started with the recipe. So here I was supposed to be using 4 pounds of white button mushrooms. Make sure they are cleaned, but unfortunately, the Instacart shopper bought the wrong ones, and I did not have time to go back to the store and get what I needed. So unfortunately, I'll have to be using these big mushrooms, but that's okay. And here is my creamy sea salted butter. 2 sticks of butter is what you need. I do use a sea salted butter because it's super healthy for you. It's absolutely delicious and super creamy. Here's my garlic that's already kind of crushed just to kind of open the aromas and flavors. Here's a dill weed. I don't have dill seed, but dill weed is just fine. I've been using dill weed for years and it hasn't made a difference. So if you don't have dill seed, dill weed is just fine. And I'm adding 1 teaspoon of dill weed. But again, it should be dill seed if you have that. Here we go with the Worcestershire sauce. 1.5 teaspoons of Worcestershire sauce. Make sure you shake it. Unfortunately, my label fell off, and that's okay. It's still the same, and I know what it is. So again, this is 1.5 teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce. I don't even know if I'm saying it right, guys. Sorry if I'm not, and I'm sure somebody's going to correct me. Also, you notice I adding a little bit more. I love the flavor of that. I love the flavor that it gives the mushrooms, so that's why I added more. Here is my homemade chicken broth. So good, so yummy. I like it because it has all the good flavors of the chicken and the veggies that I had in the chicken that I was boiling at the time. And yes, it's still a little frozen, but that's okay. It's not going to hurt anything. Here's the Better Than Bouillon. I don't have bouillon cubes. I prefer to use this. It's 1 teaspoon of this Better Than Bouillon, and that equals 1 bouillon cube. And it does ask for 4 bouillon cubes. I forgot to mention on the chicken broth, I just threw in what I had. Yeah, it was liquid. It wasn't equivalent to cubes, but it's fine. I know that this chicken broth had a lot of flavor, so to me, I feel like that was enough of chicken bouillon or chicken flavor that I needed in this recipe. Here I'm putting in the beef bouillon, and you can see that I add a little bit more, and again, you need 4 cubes or 4 teaspoons of the Better Than Bouillon. It gives it a lot of flavor. And here's my Celtic salt that I use for everything. It is so healthy for you. I just got my report back from my blood work. I use this on everything. I put it in my water so I can retain the hydration, and my blood work came out perfect. I have no high blood pressure. I use this salt all the time. And here, I know it says to put salt to taste at the end. I put it in the middle of making the recipe because this salt has so much flavor. It enhances my food immensely, and I recommend that you start using it for your health and for the flavors. You're not gonna believe how flavorful it makes your food. And there's the water, 2 cups of boiling water that I just put in. The boiling water is to help soften up the bouillon cubes, and it calls for 1 quart of Burgundy, and here it is. Unfortunately, I had to buy that large bottle of Burgundy. cheaper for me to buy the big one versus the one that I did find was over $100. So I just bought this, which was like, I think $12 or something. And that's the one I use every year anyway. And here you go. This is what it all looks like here before you start boiling it. Bring it to a gentle boil, then turn the heat down and let it simmer covered for 6 hours. And this is what it looks like after an hour of simmering covered. And my house smells absolutely delicious right now. So, so good. Cover it back, let it cook for full 6 hours, then uncover it and let it keep cooking on low for another 3 hours until the liquid has reduced. The mushrooms should be very dark and the sauce should be rich and glossy, which it is. And this is what it looks like, ready to be served. Here you can see I jarred the broth for other recipes, like when I cook my grains or sauces or gravies. And here it is, plated. And I poured a little bit over my mashed potatoes. And you know, it was really heartwarming when I heard my son say that this was one of the main dishes that he looked forward to every year. So that was really nice to hear, super sweet. That macaroni and cheese that you see, that is an award-winning macaroni and cheese. And that is my mother's recipe, but I'm sure there's recipes very similar to hers out there. And I have tried other macaroni and cheese recipes, and even with my mother's recipe, I've tried different cheese, even the nice expensive cheeses that are out there, but you have to use the cheese that she uses so that it comes out creamy and delicious, and it's a no-fail recipe every time we make it. Also, I added a special ingredient to it that brings it up a notch. I will link the video to the mac and cheese sauce here. Also, please let me know if you made these mushrooms. They're absolutely delicious. Or let me know if you make a different version of them, because I do understand there are different versions. Please make sure you like, share, and comment. And I hope to see you again. And thank you so much for spending time with me. Hugs, everyone.